What's the deal? This your boy Mr. GoodBuds, and we back again with another Q&A session in the garden. You already know what time it is. We're going to go through Discord and we're going to answer some of y'all beautiful questions. I really do enjoy this series, man. I hope y'all enjoy it as much as I do. I always like to talk about what kind of garden I'm working with. And y'all already know we working with 3 Mars Hydro spaces. We got a 3x3 from Mars Hydro and 2 4x4 from Mars Hydro. The 3x3 has been infamous for being everything. It is the auto booth, it's the breeder's booth, it's the flower booth. We do a lot of runs in the 3x3, and currently in the 3x3 we have the the FCE 4800. I don't know if I mentioned to y'all, but I have lately been learning the beauty of less is more, and I'm going to be replacing that 4800 with an FC 3000. Mars Hydro, can I get an FC 3000, please? Appreciate y'all. And for the next round, we gonna whatever we do for in the 3x3 next, we gonna see how good we can do with the 3000. You don't need 360 watts or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but 9 times 35. I'm not a math genius right now because I'm on camera. I'm pretty sure it's 360 or something. 9 times 35. 315. God damn it. I was way off. It is only 315. So 3,300 watts, 3x3. Anyway, in the second 4x4, we do have the Veg tent. And inside right now, we actually downgraded to a TSW 2000 that we running in there right now. And I run it at about 40%. A little higher than 25% because it's not as much as I need. But it is just the Veg tent. And last but not least, in our other 4x4 in our flower tent photo booth, we are right now running the FC 6500, which is beast mode. So before we get started, man, we're going to get into it. But first, a quick word from the sponsors, Mars Hydro. Yes, sir. Mars Hydro has everything you need to get you going. They got lights, they got tents, and they even got inline fans to help with that exhaust. We got bar style lights and we got quantum board style lights. Mars Hydro has everything that you need to get you going and have you a successful grow. Everything that they has the perfect amount of power, perfect amount of light penetration to the tent. Everything that you need to get you going, man. I'm telling you, make sure you holler at Mars Hydro. Go on Amazon and you can look at everything that they have, and they have a beautiful store on Amazon. And make sure when you go there, you use the code Mr. GoodBuds, and that's gonna give you a nice discount on everything that you want. Anything that's Mars Hydro, Mr. GoodBuds. Make sure you type that in, man. All right, so let's get into it, man. Back with this Q&A. Let's get it. First question is from Blazer, man. And his question is, let's say you get done with the harvest and dry. When it's all jarred up and you add a Bovita, is it necessary to burp the jars even though there's a Bovita in there that regulates the humidity? They say no, but I do. And the reason that I say that is because they say you don't, because which doesn't make sense to me because it's regulating the humidity. The reason that you had to burp is to release the gas. The chlorophyll that dies off of the plant is released in the form of a gas inside that jar, and you want to open the jar and burp that out. That's why you burp. So I feel like when whether you're using a Bovita or not, it still has that gas that's building up inside the plant and inside that jar, and you want to release that gas, that chlorophyll, and let that burp out. And plus I feel like it does wonders for the smell too when you do a nice, decent, long burp. I like to do at least a 20-minute burp. And I stopped using Bovita packs too. I don't know if you saw that video, but you know how I feel about them too. So, but yeah, I definitely feel like you should burp. All right, next question from Lashin 1984. Hello, I have a quick question. My first grow was stunted and it's on flower mode. Last 2 weeks at full blast. But notice some towards bottom are very small and leaves are drying up more than the middle and tops that are getting fatter. Should I just wait and get rid of the really small ones? It seems like possibly small type. It's a phenotype, phototype. Thank you. No, you could get rid of them. I like the lollipop because though you're always gonna have small at the bottom of the plant because it's getting less light. So you're always gonna have some larvae, small ass at the bottom that dry up faster. They die fast. They don't get light, so they do die off faster, and the plant gets rid of them as it gets older. I like to take that stuff off in the beginning when I lollipop, just because I don't like the plant wasting energy on it. Who knows how much energy it wastes on it, but I feel like it's still a waste. So I do get rid of that stuff. But you don't have to, though. All right, next question from Hood Jam. Man, my old car, the hood used to jam all the time. I used to have to bang on the hood to pop it open and shit. I noticed some tip yellowing, which indicates some nutrient toxicity on day 35 of my auto grow. We was just talking about that in the discussion. I haven't added nutrients, and my soil mixture was Coastal Maine and Happy Frog mix. The ppm runoff I measured was still at 2400. Why is my ppm so high when no nukes were added? And what can I do to my soil mixture to keep this from happening next time? A lot of that stuff is problems with using chemical nutrients and liquid nutrients, not chemical. But the liquid nutrients still build up in the soil. So to help with that, you definitely gonna want to flush to bring down those ppms. You're gonna flush out that medium to keep that from happening next time. Especially with the autoflowers, you're gonna lower the amount of nutrients that you give in those plants, and work your way up and build your way up and see how the plant reacts to it. Because I just was talking about how autoflowers are sensitive to too much nutrients. You'll nutrient burn them easily. You'll see tip burn, which can cause them to flower, but I don't usually really worry about the tip burn, honestly. Almost every single time I grow autoflowers, all the tips be burned every time, so it's kind of hard to avoid, but you can give them less food. I'm doing dry nutrients. When you're doing liquid nutrients, it's a lot more easy to control, and you can give them less nutrients and build it up and see how that autoflower likes that. All right, next question from Mr. Thick Buds. Do you use seed sprouted teas? It's a process that extracts the enzymes from corn kernels, alfalfa seeds, and other fast-growing plants after they've been germinated. It's advised to use half the dude of alfalfa SST during veg and corn kernels SST during flower. Can I combine the two? Bro, you always coming with some real good ass questions, bro. You be coming with them real scientific, need to know questions that I don't be knowing shit about. I don't know. I do not know, dog. I ain't never heard of that before, but I'm definitely gonna look into it. Seed sprouted teas, enzymes from corn kernels and alfalfa seeds. Definitely interesting. I'm definitely I'm gonna do some research about it. Y'all know how I am when it comes to keeping shit simple. But I had never heard of that, and that do sound interesting. I'm gonna check it out, bro, for sure. I feel like I wasted a question, but I think it's only 10 questions here, so. Oh well, Hood Jam. I'm about to take my PPFD above 1,000 on day 50 of my autoflower grow. I heard for your plants to benefit from the extra light that you need to supplement with CO2. Is it even worth using CO2? Is there any noticeable differences in the final product if I supplement with CO2? If you need CO2, yes, definitely. It's always CO2 is a key factor in the development of these plants. So you definitely gonna notice tighter bud, denser buds, probably better smell, better trichome coverage, better terpene profiles. You definitely get all of that. If you need supplementing CO2, because CO2 is easily supplemented. We talk around our plants all day long. If you have a lot of people in your house, you definitely supplement probably more than enough CO2, so you can go ahead and boost those lights, and you're going to get the extra yield. Now, if you're in the house all by yourself, then you may need to supplement it. But once you do that, then yes, you can. You definitely will notice differences. Now, me personally, I didn't notice any difference supplementing CO2 because of the way I did it, and I feel like I already have enough CO2 in my house, so I was already seeing results as long as I had enough light. And another thing, they actually take more heat too, which is cool about CO2. They're able to handle more heat. But I think you definitely notice. I think you definitely will notice gains if you need the CO2. If you already have enough CO2, then I don't think you're gonna notice anything. So that's just from my experiences on that. Anthony 21. Good morning, guys. I have a question for you. I'm unable to add photos to this thread, and I don't know why. I'm a paying, I think is what he's gonna say, Patreon subscriber, and I'm able to add pictures to my direct message to Mr. GoodBuds, but not on the general questions and answer thread. Please help. Thanks. I should have told y'all to ask more questions. That's 2 questions, but we're gonna answer that question. If you're a patron, all you got, most people have to delete Discord and then re-download it and then reconnect it to Patreon. Check your email and check the welcome letter from your Patreon. When you join Patreon, there's a link in that welcome letter that I make sure everybody gets so that they could go on and see how to link Patreon to Discord. But just like I said, just delete Discord, re-download it, and then look up that, or you can search it in on Google, how to link Discord to Patreon as a patron, your patron benefits, and then re-link it together, and you should be able to post pics at that point. I apologize if I'm late on answering that question for you, because this is from the 10th and it is the 26th. How can you tell when you have a nutrient lockout? My first time dealing with that recently, and y'all gonna get to see soon. There's a few ways to tell if you have a nutrient lockout. pH, if you have a really high pH in the medium or a really low pH in the medium, 9 times out of 10, that's going to cause a nutrient lockout, which basically because plants need the medium they need to be at a certain pH at the roots to uptake certain nutrients. So if it's too high or too low, it will cause a lockout. Now, one way to tell is to check the soil pH. If you have a soil pH checker, which I don't. So check the soil pH. If your soil pH is at 7, you locked out. If your pH is at 2 or 3 or 4, then you locked out. Another way to check for a nutrient lockout is to check your runoff, which is, I'm gonna spoil it. Fuck it. That's how I did it, to check to see if I had a nutrient lockout. You take some plain pH water, where you like the pH to be at normally, and you run that through your medium, and then you catch the runoff, and then test the pH. If you get a high swing in the pH, that means the medium's pH is really, really high. If you get a low swing, that means it's really, really low. If it stays the same, that means medium is the same as what it should be, so you shouldn't be locked out. Now, looking at the plant, a few ways to tell nutrient lockout is you start getting deficiencies all over the place. If you get more than one deficiency, if you get 2 deficiencies at once, it's usually a nutrient lockout. Like I said, if you know you gave your plant, if you know it's got nitrogen, you know it's getting enough nitrogen, and you having a nitrogen deficiency, it's probably locked out. Things like that, you start getting multiple deficiencies, like I just said. You see nitrogen, potassium, you got tip burn, all type of stuff like that. Like if you see multiple things, your plant just look like it's going haywire, normally those things are nutrient lockout. Usually when you even have a deficiency in the first place, it's probably lockout most of the time. And I like to, when I'm doing dry organic nutrients, I'm using the recharge, so it helps a lot when it comes to soil pH and lockouts. So when you having, one thing I recommend like a motherfucker is recharge, because it helps with lockouts. Next question, new grower once again. Since when did a grow tent become paraphernalia? I start all my vegetables for my summer garden in grow tents. It's faster than planting straight in the ground. I don't think that was a question. I think he's referring to my Patreon getting shut down and trying to do a giveaway for the Grow Light. And yeah, that was bullshit. They said it was paraphernalia. Bitch ass flies! Bitch! Yeah, they called it the drug paraphernalia. That was some whole shit. They blocked my whole account. Yes. How is a grow tent and a grow light? We could grow vegetables, all that stuff. I think by now we realize that a lot of these platforms be on some pure bullshit. YouTube, Patreon, all of them, they be on some bullshit. So we just got to deal with it and work our way around it, man. We did end up getting the Patreon back. We will be doing the giveaway still. I just don't know when and what I'm gonna do exactly, but I'll let y'all know. All right. What's pH reading from day one, 1989? What pH reader do you recommend that's reliable? Blue Labs. Blue Lab only. Blue Lab is the only reliable pH pen. I bought like 3 of them before I got the Blue Lab, and they all died on me and started swinging bad swings on pH. The Blue Lab pH pen I've had for a while, it still calibrates right. It's still, and a lot of things like they make it so that it lasts for a long time. They built tough so that they last. So they're completely waterproof. I know they cost a lot, but completely waterproof. They're bulletproof. You can calibrate them. You re-soak them. And they work perfectly fine for a very long time. They're awesome, man. Blue Lab all day long, man. And last question from Mr. Thick Buzz. I hope I can answer this one. Have you ever researched seed sprouted tea? All right, appreciate y'all for joining me once again, man. This is your boy, Mr. GoodBuds, man. We gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Thank y'all for joining me once again on the Q&A in the garden. Make sure y'all like this video. Y'all subscribe. And make sure y'all holler at that Munchies too, man. Before y'all holler at Instagram, man, make sure y'all go holler at that Munchies. And follow me on TikTok too, man. Appreciate y'all for joining me once again, man. We are up out of here, boy.